Assalamu alaikum, family. Peace, healing, and light. And welcome back to another episode of Healing with Angelica's podcast, where we discuss all things healing. And if you are new to the show, welcome, beautiful souls. On today's episode, I have a beautiful guest joining me today, my brother, Miciail X, as we will be discussing today's topic: hard trials are necessary. Brother Miciail, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
Doing just fine. Thank you, sis.
Yes, yes, praise be to Allah. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now, before we get started on today's topic, do you mind letting our audience know just a little bit more about you?
Sure. Yeah, my name is Miciail X, and I joined the Nation of Islam back in 2000, but I was kind of like introduced into the teachings before that, like probably 1995, who I call like pretty much like my step brothers that I've known since like '77. So, and pretty much the first thing that attracted that big decision I made, even though we hadn't joined the nation, was like 1996. I was gonna join the Navy. So, and they pretty much overnight, uh, give me that talk and explain to me that the black, like the Navy and the forces and stuff, was no place for the black man, American, you know, forces and stuff. So I just kind of been on that journey since then. So just put it like that.
Oh, wow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. I thank you for that, brother. Now, let's get started on today's topic. Hard trials are necessary. A healing journey from foster care, a low self esteem, and loss of loved one. And please, for my audience today, don't let me be the only one asking questions. If you guys have any questions for my guest today, please feel free to put any questions you may have for my guest in the comment box below. So, today's topic is so important because in the Nation of Islam, we are taught that hard trials are necessary to establish truth. And that is the reason why tests through hard trials are issued to those who say, I believe because Allah wants to enhance our quality in faith. And that brings me to my first question for you, brother Miciail.
Mm,
Miciail. I keep saying, I want to say Miciail. Okay. Miciail. I want to start talking about your journey
mhm,
with foster care. From the beginning, tell us your journey of being in foster care
mhm,
and how it affected you growing up.
mhm. So the first thing is like, I was living with my mother, who was a single mother at that time, and for the first 5 years, it was just me. And then right after that, I had a younger brother that came. So yeah, when I was five, so I'm 5 years older than him. And then when I hit like six, pretty much I used to run away a lot. So and I wouldn't really like just like run away from ever, but just least I would just like do my own thing and wouldn't might not come back for the weekend or something and stay whatever. I would stay up to friends' house and stuff like that. So I,
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was around, yeah, I was like six. So I remember my mother was like, you do that again, I ain't letting you back in here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's that's what happened with that. So I did it again, and I just have this little vision or kind of like memory of, I remember because it was like townhouses and apartments and low income. And I remember upstairs, she's like, I ain't letting you in. So and I just kind of was wandering, like, this was in my hometown Seattle. I was kind of wandering around and asking people, I think, like, if they got some money or I need something to eat. So this guy took me to this Chinese restaurant in Chinatown, again in my hometown Seattle. And then which I didn't know, he had called the police. So the police came and uh, I got some just kind of just explaining short memory, and then I went to this receiving home when they keep you for a month, and then
Mhm.
you go to the foster family. So I was there. It was like a Spanish family. So, and I don't know if because I look Spanish or what, but that they said. But um, so then I went to, a month later. They kind of gave it like a little house interview, where I got to meet the foster family, and it was a Caucasian family, and but they had two younger, just about my around my age. I was 6, so there was like they had two um black uh you know little boy and a girl, and they were real brothers and sisters. So I was about 6, so we did this little interview, and I just pretty much stayed. I just stayed. I ended up going to live with them, and I
Mhm.
I stayed with them from when I was 6 to like 17. So and then that's when I went on my own. But they ended up adopting me when I was 15.
Mm.
So, but in between there, I'm going on visits with my mother, and at 6 years old, I'm not knowing what's going on. I just know it was like I felt I was doomed where I couldn't go back to my mother, and it was hard to the visitations. I go with my mother, and then I got to go back with them. A lot
Yeah.
of a lot of times I cry up at night. I wanted to go back and live with my mom, and
Mhm.
we went through the court system when I'm like 6 and really unsurety. So, but they ended up getting guardianship of me when I was in the second grade.
Mm.
So I felt I was like at that point I felt I'm never going back to her. So that hurt, you know. And then just the trials that came with that. My younger brothers are little. They not knowing what's going on. I think all three of us kind of had behavior problems because of that. That experience. They would see their older brother, but he can't stay here.
Yeah.
Then I know I had behavior problems in school, you know, because of that. So that kind of affected me. That definitely affected, I would say, you know, low self esteem, put it like that.
Mhm.
Because like I shared years later that I heard the minister Farrakhan say that your mother is your guide at a point in your life until you pretty much summing it up until you realize who God is.
Mm.
She's given to you as your guide. You're dependent on her.
Mhm.
So she provides for you all that. You know, you, so I just look at it as I explained it. I was took from my God at 6.
Yeah.
So that affected me. Let me just put it like that.
Whew. Mm-mm-mm. So with you being back and forth, so you're saying that you were back and forth with your biological mom and then with your foster
Just
parent
visitations,
visitations with her.
right? Just visitations. So
Mhm.
first it was every week, every Saturday, and there was even stipulations with that. If she was late, then we would lose a couple hours the next week of the time. But it was like 8 hours, like 8 to 4:30. And but later on, it got changed to once every 2 weeks. I heard because I think my according to my birth mother, that was something that my adopted mother wanted to change because like they like to go on vacations and take us for the summers, throughout the time and stuff like that. So they changed it to every 2 weeks, I guess.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, that's what I mean, like back and forth, just like on visitations. That was hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Did you ever get a chance to like speak to your biological mom about why um I want to say she put you in that space?
she didn't put me in that space.
Mhm.
I got took. So Now, to be honest with you, I never knew the the um the exact reasons why the state took me. So now I do know, that, for instance, that was a sign. She shouldn't have done that. You know, uh, saying that you can't, I can't let you back in there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
There's ways that should have been handled. Um, and I know, but I'll be honest with you, I don't really see. I think back then old school did some things that now would be considered. You know what I'm saying? you know, uh, 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 neglect and stuff like that. And
Yes.
so, but I mean, what you just had to be, you just shouldn't have been done. Like I'd be left home by myself at 5. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes. So, but particulars I can't sit, but I can't say why I wasn't able. Something was worked out to where I couldn't go back.
Mm.
You know, so. But I would just have to come to the conclusion. I just have to look at. I've been taught to look at it. That's the things we can't explain. That's where Allah had it playing.
Yes.
So that's where I've grown into to accept.
Mhm.
But the particulars, because truthfully, my younger brothers, they were took, but they were able to go back later on, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's because my I couldn't tell you. I can only have speculations, but that's where, like I said, that's where I believe it was meant for me to go. With that.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Praise be to Allah. And what part of that journey growing up were you introduced to the Nation of Islam?
It was when I got about 19, and so my mother, when she was dating my younger brother's father, so before they were born, I met um who was my younger brother's father's older sons before our younger brothers were born. So I kind of say that they're like my step brothers. That's the
Mm.
best way I can describe them. We, we're connected because we share the same brothers. But but they knew me before those younger brothers were actually born, and I'm not blood to them.
Mm.
So I just say step brothers, the best way to describe them. But that's when I was um, we got kind of reconnected because they didn't live far from where I was living with my foster family, and so and then we just started hanging out when I was like 19. One of them's 5 years older than me, and the other one's like 9 years older than me. And that's when it kind of kicked in, was that Navy one where I said I was going to join the Navy. So they just started. I don't want to say bashing it, but they started, convincing me with that, and I listened to it, and then I just kind of, listened to the teachings ever since then from that and their examples. Let me put it like that. Yeah.
So were they in a nation, or they just was
I
listening to the minister at the time?
It was listening to him from public access more than
Mm.
heavily. You know, like somebody would watch sports. That's how deep they was into it
Oh wow.
off of public access. So I would say they're strong sympathizers. Put it like that. You know,
Wow. So beautiful. Praise be to Allah.
yeah.
Now, in what period in your life did you experience that low self-esteem?
Starting around that time,
Mhm.
it was kind of the yin and the yang. You know, I had what I call signs of low self-esteem, but a lot of times we cover it and we replace it with falsehood.
Yeah.
So because we don't have it, I mean, we don't have good esteem. So for once, mine would have to say, what a lot of us in this, is the vanity. the what I call the white beauty standards. So, that was pumped into me. You got pretty eyes, your hair, back when I had it, the hair was wavy. I just looked, you know, and so that I would always get compliments on that.
Mm.
And, but of course, I ate it up because I didn't feel I had nothing else.
Yeah.
I got this memory when I'm like 5 years old. No, about 8 years old. I got this memory where uh, I was with my adopted family, the ones I mentioned that were black. They had real brothers and sisters that lived with another foster family, and I remember she was, I don't know, she might have been a teenager. No, she might have been maybe 18 or something, but she was over there, and I remember a sister, and she was giving me a compliment. She says, "You're cute, but don't let it get to your head."
Mm.
So, but I let it get to, that was like at 6, but I was like 8 at that time, but I let it get to my head, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, until I matured out of that. But, um, just really finding myself, put it like that. I didn't think I had any good qualities, and it's taken up into manhood. I call it really recently to see
Mhm.
more of my qualities, but that's going through, as the titles, hard trials are necessary.
Mhm.
Up until recently, where I'm starting to, this is what I heard the minister say, that a law does not waste the worker of a worker.
Mm.
Does not waste the work of a worker. Let me put
Mhm.
it like that. So, and just working in Islam, but I'm not seeing my qualities, you know, uh, um, whether it's being successful with how to eat to live, whether it's being successful on, going out in the community with the final call newspaper and such. Both of those, I got a record of 25 years into that. So this year is 25 years of being out in the community with the final call newspaper and such. And then last year was, brothers I mentioned, all of us 25 years in successfully practicing how to eat to live.
Mm.
And so those two were absolutely instrumental in uh, uh, giving me confidence. Let me put it like that. But I didn't see it up until this last year of heavy trials.
Mm.
So, well, the eat to live, yes, but on a mass scale, I'm starting. I'm like, wait a minute, man. I've been holding on, going through these hard times. Even being out in the community, we get beat up.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure for the sister side is, yours, you, especially you dressing like an MGT, that you can't hide.
Mhm.
And so, in a sense, I was out in the community consistently for almost nearly 20 years, probably 50, 60 hours a week. So
Mm.
that to me is equivalent to, say, like MGT. You can't hide that. They know that I was Muslim out there.
Yes.
There is no hiding and putting up your jacket. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, and then that means from being consistent so much of that, anywhere I'm at, they're recognizing me.
Mm.
So there was no hiding of that. So that's consistently. And you might have people looking at you funny, treating you funny, rejecting the truth funny, and just as members of the Nation of Islam were unique, put it like that.
Yes.
And when I say unique, we're unique in uh, uh, trials and tribulations we may go to, because sometimes we're not liked because of us being followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And there's trials that come with that. So you could say it's almost like I know I carried a level of anxiety
Yeah.
constantly. But guess what? I toughed it out though. So that is what I call the yin and the yang. You might have that constant anxiety because my low self esteem. When I first got out there, with the Final Call newspaper, I stuttered. So that was a height of anxiety. And it's like I was scared to speak because
Mhm.
I knew the stuttering would come out. I would have to break that. And not practicing that, you know, on a constant level. So I would stutter a lot in the beginning. Let me put it like that.
Mhm.
And then I would be nervous. I know that people don't like us out there. I know they want to debate. I know they want to talk ill of you. You know,
Mhm.
in all walks of life. But guess what? What I learned is Allah does not leave you comfortless because
Yes.
once it's like it's almost natural where I see it all the time. You might have, just say throughout your day, you might have somebody that just really talks to you badly. But guess what? Let there be a few minutes later, then you get that comfort that Allah sends you. Then you got somebody that's, so that comes with the teachings. You being out there, you might have people that certain aspects in all walks of life, they don't want nothing to do with you. They talking ill of you. They don't like the teachings. They don't like the minister. But guess what? 5 minutes later, it's almost like clockwork. Here comes the sympathizer. Here comes the one that loves the minister. Here comes the one that loves the teachings, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And guess what? You get a reward from that just walking into that. So
Yes.
you said you take one step towards Allah, He takes two towards you.
Yes.
So, just going out there. But I'm still not all the way comfortable going out there. I'm gonna be, but that's just me. I
Mhm.
that it takes a while. You know what I'm saying? So, some of the illnesses or the sicknesses take a while. They don't do immediately. But guess what though? At the same time, I believe Allah used that because He know I was scared to go out there. He know I had anxiety. But you just going out there and waking up the day and going out there, putting the suit on, putting the hairpiece on, knowing that this ain't supposed to be easy.
Yes.
That's what exercises you. So I'm thankful for the anxiety. I still got it today, but I
Mhm.
go out there. I tough it
Yes.
out. So that's the exercise that I look at. You feel me? It ain't supposed to be easy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Allah don't want those one. To me, that's what I look at. Everybody can look at it differently. But I'm looking at Allah's testing you. Do you want to be out there? Do you want to
Ooh.
be in this?
Yes.
Because you can study all through the promise that all the people that had some aspect, whether they were a prophet of a God or whether they just was in that religion. It wasn't easy. Look at the pillars of Islam. Those aren't easy.
Mm.
Fasting ain't easy. Our going past our what they say our nigger list to do the prayer. We got to, that ain't easy. Paying charity ain't easy for black people to give up some money because you don't know where it's gonna go to.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes.
you
Yes.
know what I'm saying? This ain't easy
Mhm.
for any of us.
Yes.
Any aspect of Islam, and especially, like I said, I had anxiety. Now everybody's knowing me in the
Mm.
community. I go back there, it's like a superstar from all races, all nationalities. I'm hearing about pastors talking about, oh, them brothers out there. He's giving his sermons talking about
Mhm.
we need Christians like those Muslim brothers out there or on the corner.
Yes.
So everybody's knowing us.
Whew.
So,
Praise be to Allah. Praise
but
be to Allah. Yes. Yes.
so
Yes.
so and my stepbrother said in the beginning when we first started being consistent out there, he said a prayer. I pray for you so Islam is known in our city.
Mhm.
Well, it's bigger than the city now. Allah, that's all I was waiting for. To just ask them for something.
Mhm.
So it's bigger than the city. Believe me.
Whew.
But it's like I said in our community. Oh, it's like, man, it's like I can't, like, I have to put on a disguise. To be honest with you. All I'm gonna say it. All races, all of them. And Seattle's the melting pot of diversity. All races is recognizing that. But that's what I learned to know. First of all, it was the stage of low self-esteem. I didn't know what I'm doing. I didn't know, people after the first 2 years of being consistent in all weather, they're mesmerized, the people are. I remember my brother was somewhere because I was out there the most. They omit that. I was out there the most. My brother was like, somebody just, I can tell they thought it was, I thought he said, after the first 2 years being consistent on the block, he said, I could tell that he thought that I was you. And
Mm,
the quote, this is what he said. He said, she stood up and came to greet me like I was Jesus.
mm.
So but guess what? That wasn't me. I wasn't saying nothing out there, especially back then. That wasn't me. That's the teachings. Just stepping into any aspect, holding a paper. I didn't say nothing. So I know it wasn't me. That's the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And for those that Minister Farrakhan still holding it down on his shoulders, and those that died for this, I knew it wasn't me.
Whew.
But
Praise be to Allah, brother Miciail. Praise be to Allah. Ooh, that's oh, that was a lot. Thank you for that so much. I love it. I love it. And if you are enjoying this episode just as well as I am, please, please, please show your support by donating today to Healing with Angelica to help sustain future episodes just like this. Also, if you are enjoying all of the episodes on Closing the Gap Broadcast Network, please, please, please show your support today by donating. I will also be showing information to donate on the screen below. I love you all. Now let's get back to today's episode. Hard trials are necessary with brother Michael. I keep saying it wrong.
McKay,
Mikael. I want to say Mike. I keep saying
that's a,
Mikael.
oh yeah. What's funny? Everybody pronounce it differently. I know it's black people. We pronounce them. I get called Michael from black people.
Mm. I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on that. So my next question for you is, give me a moment. How has and seem like to me we kind of got through that. Now I want to talk about because you spoke to me about the loss of your mother.
Mm-hmm.
How did you cope with the loss of your mother?
Man, barely hold on. Let me put it like that. You talking about this? This happened. It was unexpected. Um, and it was at the height of, well, right in the mix of the Obama recession, already struggling.
Hmm.
And I get that call. She's in Sacramento. I'm in Seattle, where she's hooked up to the machines and stuff. So that hit me. Barely got down there. Um, and so had to make that decision on pulling the plug and come back, dealing with that emotionally, dealing with the recession. You know, I mean, really wasn't making nothing to be able to pay the rent. Let me just put it like that. So, and then got to try to get her buried. You talking about this is back? There was no GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody got money. Everybody's in a surety. A couple people I'm asking for help. Which I understand. Everybody got in surety. Everybody's trying to hold on to their money, the little money they got.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, and I'll just be honest with you, you never got a proper barrier. You know what I'm saying? That that hurt. I still got thoughts of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel good. So they just um what you call it. I'll say in that whole situation, the only thing that gave me comfort was we just happened to be having a discussion, my mother and I, and she's like, "Man, if ever get hooked up to the machines, man, don't leave me on there long." So I was comforted in that aspect of making that decision. You know, so she was, and they told me, even if she did, she wouldn't really have all her motor skills and stuff like that. So I didn't keep her on there long, and I pulled it. That was probably the only comforting thing out of that whole situation. But and I really shut down for a while. Keep it real with you,
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, and having to deal with this, like I said, recession, and like where's rent money gonna come from? You know what I'm saying? And I'm really, and then like sales dropped because nobody got no excessive money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just really, and I'm not even saying nothing when I am out there, really, just hurting. So I really shut down for a while, and it really took me a couple of years to bounce back from that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like I said, that was rough, but these experiences I'm talking about, I realized that they've helped me up until this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I just gave you a light thing. I used to get beat up a lot spiritually out there. You know what I'm saying? Emotionally, hit the block. But I then here, it was like, I go back out there.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. That's where I started to look at this last year. I mean, I was pretty tough. You know what I mean? And I got other stories, that are tied into this that just really made me realize, man, all praise due to Allah. But I started looking at myself better. Man, I had, I put up with this, I put up with that, I put up with this, I put up with that. Just, what I mean? Staying consistent. I got a picture. You seen it when I gave you the two choices to pitch. It's consistency.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that is one quality of mine, but I never felt I had anything. The average. I always felt I'm looking on race level, and my desire to want to be cling to my black side, which I really didn't know much about because my dad died at 8. But I would try to hold on to stuff. Okay, but it would hurt me because I couldn't. What I felt, I didn't have the gifts of an average black person I felt that had, whether it be
Mm-hmm.
that sports, music, singing, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was always felt left out in that area, you know. But once I started up until recently, I'm like, wait a minute, man. And here go the key thing. I mentioned I went to an adopted family. Okay, I didn't. I was hurt at little because I didn't know my black father who could bring me into the identity of my blackness.
Yes.
And here's how bad our law works: is it would bother me, it would hurt me, even. And I went to my adopted family who were both middle class white. I had, but there's my father figure. But again, it would hurt me because it's like I felt I had to squeeze out the blackness in me because I didn't know it. So, but here's how bad our law is he, you could say that he put me into that family. Now here I have a white father, even though that's not what I desired, but I had a white father to look up to that his work ethic was instilled in me because I've seen a lot of us as boys need to see a man working. I
Yes.
seen him work. Then I go into the Nation of Islam, the blackest organization, and Allah used that, my work ethic that I learned from that white man, into the blackest organization ever. Now all races are mesmerized by that. If that's all I had, which I felt that, I didn't know them basic skills, but that's how Allah got to show his power. In the
Mm.
That's why we're the chosen people, the worst people, or looked upon as the worst people, then beat up the most. Well, I had no gifts that I felt. Only I could work. That's the only thing and I kept doing it.
Yes.
That's why it shined. The consistency. Then consistency with how to eat to live. All through these trials that I'm trying, the things we go through, what's the first thing we want to do? Comfort food. But I didn't do it. I stuck with it. Consistency is off the charts. Now, of course, we can always do better. Of course, there's things I want to get better on. But that's a law showing us. We got something we can we can focus on. You know what I mean? Now, if
Mm-hmm.
we just apply whatever our strong gifts in, that same energy into all the things will be, that's what, you know what I mean? We'd be the baddest on the planet.
Yeah.
And that's the minister. That's how it's,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? But that's like, that's the other thing. When I say the law don't leave us comfortless, he shows us in our own selves where the quality of life is, where we are, how, where God's exist in us, the potential. So, but again, I was always beating myself up because I felt I can't do nothing like everybody else. Man, there's still things I want to accomplish. Especially when I'm seeing little kids on here like rapping. That's something I always wanted to do. But guess what? I don't get jealous. I admire that, man.
Yes.
I'm always inspired by that. I admire other people out there. Just like I may be, my thing is consistency. Now, salesmanship is, you want to say like a sale. I suck at that. I ain't good at all. You know what I'm saying? I tried car lot, man. I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? But the consistency is what was selling it anyway. That is my pitch. Now it's just time to open up.
Yeah.
Then I'll be the baddest of the salesmen of the whole time. If I just focus on trying to pull out of me the weaknesses of it, I already got the consistency down. You know what I'm saying? Those are just signs of just our aspect that we are masters at, or you want to say, or close to mastering at. But I just didn't see value in myself. That's really what held me back. Just keep it real.
Whew. As you are speaking, it's like I can tell just by your expression how much the teachings has gave you this confidence, has given you this warrior like spirit, a soldier spirit. I can tell just from how you are expressing yourself and your journey. And it's funny because, and I won't say it's funny, but it's I can bear witness to that myself. It's like I don't think none of us really know our true value until we actually, know the knowledge of God and the knowledge of self. I've been through things in my life, and it wasn't until I found the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and came into Islam where I just got this confidence to where it's like I
Talk about.
will, man, like it's like what don't like what don't say nothing about my minister. We out here, we saving our people, we got this.
Come on.
So like as you're speaking, I can feel it because that's the same energy, and that's how we working with a true God.
Man,
That's
come on.
that confidence, that confidence. I want to say confidence
Come
that
on.
that comes out of us when
Right.
we go out there, and even like you said, all of this is new to us, even though we know that because we are followers of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, as being taught well by the honorable minister Louis Farrakhan, that we may be ridiculed, we may be made fun of, but because we know we have a man that has our back, we go out there anyway because we know what our mission is. And regardless of all the circumstances that you may have went through in your life, you use that. So you use your circumstances and your hard trials and the things that you learn, even from your father, your stepfather being a white man. You
Come on.
use his work ethics, in which the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, work, 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 work. If you sad, work. If you if you're
Come
if
on.
you're sad, work. If you're depressed, work. If you're working, still work. Just work, 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 right? So with Allah, it's like I really feel like Allah already had his hand on you even at the beginning of time with you, and he used the situation with you with your foster care and the things you went through, that, and he knew that maybe the situation don't look right, but he was already putting you in place to come do the work for him. So I love that, and I embrace that, and I just love your spirit when you're talking about it, because you get me riled up. I'll be riled up too when you talk about the minister, what talking about these teachings, because it's so powerful.
Come on.
And we all need to. And I think that's what gets me the most, is because these teachings is life giving and life changing. that it gives you the confidence that nobody and no one can give you but God himself.
Come on.
So all praises are due to Allah, brother. I thank you so much for that. I have one last question here for you. What advice would you give someone who is dealing with a hard trial but are having a hard time getting through it?
Hmm. Well, I'm gonna put it like this: we got our tools. Even you can use their tools and still don't have to be a member of the Nation of Islam. What the minister advises us. You feel me? So, and like for instance, I went yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
the Dianetics. You know what I'm saying? And look, all the religions mention prayer and fasting. You know what I'm saying? Prayer and fasting. We got to fast from like that's definitely clears the mind, clears the thinking. Fasting is definitely attributing to looking up the benefits of fasting. It gives you confidence.
Yes.
It builds self-esteem. There's nothing harder almost than choosing not to eat. So I would definitely, whatever religion you are, focus on them basic principles, prayer and fasting, and tough it out. Tough out. Hold on to the pain. Don't take no devices. Don't take no painkillers. None of that. You know what I'm saying? Between you and Allah, and you're gonna realize that's what he's trying to show you. He may take, and here's how bad Allah. Sometimes he got to take stuff from us
Mm.
to make us to look at him. And
Whew.
but guess what? To look at him, you got to look at us. We got to look at ourselves. And here's the thing: we will see strengths in us. Don't just because I always heard that Allah's trying to show you the weaknesses in you, but I believe He's also trying to show you the strengths in you.
Yes.
I've definitely seen that in me. I didn't look at it right. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I need you to look at Allah first, right? We have to look at ourselves right. So it goes hand in hand. There is no separation to that. So I believe that he's trying to do both. I want you to look at me and I want you to look at yourself. So that means the mistakes, absolutely. But guess what? It ain't all just that.
Yes.
That's the key, in my opinion. The difference that's gonna make us through these trials is we got to look at both. If the minister always talking about there's always positive and negative, always. So what that mean? We got to look at that. But I know I wasn't looking at that at me. I didn't think I had no positive.
Mm.
But now we're
Whew.
showing you, hold up, man. That's how bad our law is. And I know, ain't too many people probably had low self-esteem like me. I didn't think I had nothing. I have no skill, no work skill, no, as you want to say, trade, no, I felt there was a gift, no, nothing music, nothing. So if I can see it in myself, I know anybody can.
Hey, I'm not even gonna lie. I have not felt so powered up and energized in any of my interviews like this one.
Uh, I'll put you to a lot. I yours too. I see, I see, young sister Ava.
Oh my God, I love her. Oh my gosh, may Allah be so pleased with her, man. Oh my gosh, literally a star of God, man. Oh my God, all praises due to Allah. And like I said, it's like, see, it's like that energy. I just want to say, brother, keep pushing that energy
All praise.
because everyone needs that energy. We all need a pickup because within these hard trials, we need our believers. We need our believing friends, our believing family to help put us pull us up together, when we are going through trials and tribulations in our life. And like I said, just with you just speaking and your enthusiasm and enthusiastic spirit. I'm sorry. It's just like, yes, this is why I just love the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and so grateful for it because I am not the same person.
I'll
Uh,
praise.
I'm a person. I would have been quiet a long time ago, but not.
Well,
We speaking that truth. We
and,
got to. We got to.
right,
Don't shut up. You got to
man,
keep talking. You got to
right.
speak that truth. So you're speaking your truth, and I love it, and I am so grateful. And I just
Uh,
want to say thank you, my brother, for joining us today
yes,
to discuss this amazing topic. Hard trials are necessary. I would also like to thank my amazing audience in Healing Tribe for joining us today as well. I pray that this episode was informative, valuable, and healing to you all. Also, be sure to share, like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes on any of your favorite podcast station. Closing the Gap Broadcast Network on Facebook and YouTube, and Healing with Angelica's podcast on Facebook and YouTube to help get the message out to those in need of healing. Also, if you are ready to start your healing journey, I am offering a 90-minute consultation call that will include a copy of my ebook, Heal Yourself, for free. More information will be in today's show notes, including information for today's amazing soldier guest, my brother, Miciail. Did I say it
Mukay.
right? Miciail. I was gonna do it wrong.
That's
Miciail X. So, brother Miciail, before we end today's show, do you have
yeah.
any closing remarks for our audience today?
Oh, absolutely. I did. I just want to say, like, you know, I dealt with some heavy low self esteem. I'm just put it like that. You know what I'm saying? It's tough. You know, rough. You know, especially these last years. And you know, seek some outside counsel when you're going through some heavy things. Counsel that you can trust, even if it's a therapist. If you got to do, vent it off properly. You know what I'm saying? That's what number one. The other two thing is I reached out to you, sis, because I had this thought about 6 months ago. I had a bucket list that I wanted to reach out to some sisters in this journey. And I believe that social media needs to see us vying together in good works. There's too much of this gender bashing. You feel me? So,
Mm-hmm.
and I really didn't know the platform that you had, but I just watched the clip you had. But it ties in perfectly healing.
Yes.
And truthfully, somebody that I look up to told me I was kind of sharing a little bit, about my journey this last year, and he said, "Man, that's what you mean. That's what you need to be sharing." So it kind of ties in,
Yes.
platforms called the healing. You know what I'm saying? So but that, like I said, I want. That's why I wanted to, correlate with some sisters in this journey because, you know, we need to outshow them. We need to, we're supposed to be different in this world, and we need to show them. So that's the only thing. I mean, that's how we can win that over because it's too much of that gender bashing. You know what I'm saying? So, and the key thing is that sums it up: healing. You feel healing.
Yes.
So that's what we need. So that's why I just want to close with those remarks. That's why I want I seen and I think for plus at the same time you know I knew in my own brain I got to fight that. You feel me? Because that can be, you can absorb that. It's out here a lot. So I didn't want to absorb that. So I'm like,
Yes.
how do we fight that? Here, vie together in good works, like the scripture said.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just wanted to end on that.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I definitely agree. I'm grateful that you did reach out to me. Because again, when I think about my podcast, I think about being able to allow others to have a chance to express their self. And, I was actually looking at a old YouTube video of Dr. Eileen. I think it was Dr. Eileen.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lecture that he did about deliberative dialogue and
Mm,
how us we were made from expression,
mm-hmm.
and from sounding clay. I'm not saying that verbatim, but I remember that, and he also just expressed how we aren't meant to just keep things bottled up inside.
Absolutely.
We have to voice and express ourselves, and be able to communicate through proper dialogue. So I love this because this gives me an opportunity to heal, to express
Uh,
myself, and also connect with others that are on the same journey with me. And we
right.
be able to help each other and do the work of God. So I am so grateful, brother, for you joining me today. And I
Yeah.
just want to thank you again, and also thank you, my beloved Healing Tribe, for joining us as well. And we leave you all as we came. Assalamu alaikum. Peace, healing, and light.
Alaikum salam.